If you're looking for the best guitar strings for beginners, here's a list you must see. We made this list based on our personal preference and sorted it based on their features, prices, quality, durability, and reputation of the manufacturers and customer feedback. Also, we've included options for every type of customer. So let's get started. At the first position of our list, we have Dadario Phosphor Bronze EJ16 3D. Dadario is one of the most popular brands among acoustic players. There are countless guitarists that likely had Dadario strings as their very first brand. The EJ16 3D Phosphor Bronze set is perhaps their best balance of sound quality and affordable price. The best thing about these strings besides the great price is that they sound amazing. They'll give your playing a rich yet bright tone that will sound good for both strummings and be playing melodies. The gauges run from 53 up to 12, meaning your notes and chords are going to resonate for a long time. The slight thickness will also help you build up your finger dexterity. Moving on to the next at number 2 with Martin Phosphor Bronze MS for 1150 strings. Martin & Co. is another amazing brand that makes great guitars and guitar accessories alike. Their MS for 1150 guitar strings are graded for studio and stage performances. Above all else, these strings are meant to give you amazing sound. The 55 to 125 gauges will leave everything you play sounding as resonate as possible while still being just light enough not to hurt your fingers too much when you're starting out. The shimmering tone has a lot of depth to it, mostly derived from the steel core construction. Though usually a bit expensive, the number 3 position is held by DR Zebra Acoustic-Electric strings. Although a lesser talked about name in the world of guitar products, DR Strings makes wonderful sets for players that are venturing away from the strictly acoustic world. For instance, the Zebra set is meant for acoustic-electric hybrids equipped with piezo bridge pickups. They also work great for any guitars that have magnetic pickups inside of the body. You can use these with archtop jazz guitars as well. The DR Zebra set runs from 50 to 11, giving you a slightly more medium to light feeling than the Dadario strings above. The sound quality you'll get is snappy and rich at the same time. The fact that every other coil switches between bronze and nickel-plated gave a unique tone overall. These strings a little off the beaten path, but they stand up well, especially given their price range. Next at number 4, we have Gibson Brite wires. Once you are in fully electric territory, you may as well try out the strings from none other than Gibson themselves. You can equip your instrument with nickel-plated steel wound Brite wires. These strings are incredibly light, running just 46 to 10. If you are into general hard rock, punk, blues, or jazz, these will suit you perfectly. The light gauge will really only work for standard or half-step down tuning. However, the number 5 position is held by Ernie Ball Skinny Top, Heavy Bottom. Ernie Ball is perhaps the premier name in electric guitar strings these days. They are played by big shots such as Metallica, Slash, Jimmy Page, and tons of others. Their Skinny Top, the heavy bottom set is a particular note since it gives you light strings on top for easy lead playing, but thicker strings on the bottom to make sure your rhythms sound as full as possible. This will also support lower tuning, especially drop D and even drop C, so give them a shot. The number 6 position is dominated by Taylor 114s. For beginners, we'd recommend the light set, which is easier to play and gentler on fingers. They're more expensive than non-coated strings, but they last a lot longer and sound significantly better. Bobby has been using Elixir strings for his acoustic, electric, and bass guitars for over a decade and has consistently recommended them in other editorials and articles. The nano web coating gives this particular set of strings a warmer tone, while the gauge gives you enough weight and thud without being too hard to play. You can also get an extra light version where the low E drops to 47. Elixir sells them in single packs and packs of 3. Though don't let the sticker shock get the best of you. They're well worth the extra cost simply for the fact they last months longer than an uncoated string. You'll play a long time before you notice any corrosion or rust. Moving on to the next at number 7 with Ernie Ball Earthwood. Ernie Ball has long provided some of the best acoustic strings for beginners, primarily because of value and affordability. You can get a single pack of Earthwood acoustic strings from Ernie Ball for less than the previous 2 packs. We looked at with a ton of different gauges to choose from. The strings don't sound at all cheap and actually seem to get a little closer to the Elixir's tone than the Dadario set does. The strings are a copper, tin, and phosphorus mixture, with some kind of coating that isn't nano-web, but still does a decent job of protecting the strings from sweat and open-air elements. We don't see them lasting as long as the Elixir sets, but they do a good job of keeping their tone, which is really clear and bright. Where the Dadario string tone is a little thicker and warmer, Ernie Ball gets closer to the high-end tonal spectrum, with a lot of shimmer and clarity. At the same time, thicker gauges sound great on the strumming Dreadnought acoustic. It's a good set for those who prefer fingerpicking or lead acoustic. The number 8 position is held by Martin SB 7100 Lifespan coating. The SB treated acoustic strings are Martin's attempt. They're actually made by a company called Clear Tone to compete with Elixir's coated string. While it's not entirely similar to Elixir's sound, the Lifespan strings do have a reputation of lasting longer than something like the Acoustic SB. More on that set next, or the Ernie Ball Earthwood sets. We call them the poor man's Elixir string. One interesting aspect of this string set is that they sound significantly better when used for melody picking or lead acoustic playing. Bluesy solos and jazzy techniques sounded full and held a lot of nice sustain. This type of playing seemed to be a really ideal spot for the Martin Lifespan set. While their strumming tone wasn't nearly as impressive, there's definitely a crispness to the tone they produce, which is characteristic of coated strings. The light gauge we used felt easy on the fingers, responding well to bends and vibrato. Whatever coating they used also seemed to help fingers slide better, which is something you'll notice on Elixir string sets as well. While we didn't use this set as long as some of the others, we'd expect that since it exhibited all the characteristics of a coated string that you get more life out of them than your average Martin string pack. Almost all the reviewers we read said the same thing, that these strings lasted significantly longer than their untreated counterparts. Next at number 9, MSB 4150 Phosphor Bronze. These are Martin's Garden Variety non-coated acoustic string, which we believe are essentially the same string used in the Lifespan version, just without the coating. You can definitely feel a difference in how they play, though we were surprised at how similarly they sounded. The Acoustic SB has a steel middle wire which is wound with bronze, and that's pretty much it. Martin does a good job here of giving you a cheaper string that still sounds really good, using a simple steel wire and bronze construction. We thought it even sounded a little better than the Lifespan set in a rhythm and strumming context, though not quite as clear or defined. Finally, the number 10 position is dominated by Fender Phosphor Bronze. Fender's attempt at an acoustic string set is extremely similar to the Dadario Phosphor Bronze design. This means that yes, the Fender variety is good, but we don't see any real reason to buy these as opposed to buying the Dadario set. Both feel, sound, and play very similar. That's not to say they're bad, but as Fender has done lately, particularly with the inception of Fender Play, they seem content to rehash existing wheels and refrain from any kind of significant reinvention. There's actually a coated version of this string called Duratone for a couple dollars more. We didn't get a chance to test these out, but would be comfortable assuming they're similar to the difference between the Martin Lifespan and Acoustic SB. The natural tone was definitely balanced, similar to the Dadario set. Strumming sounded good while lead notes came out clear, and with a little bit of bronze grit. We seem to get less sustain out of this set than others, though that's not a major issue when you're playing acoustic. There's nothing really wrong with these strings, but again, it just seems like there's no real reason to buy Fender acoustic strings before others. That's all for today. We upload music product review videos every single day, so don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon for the upcoming video notification.